Wonderful. All right. So I'm Maribel Vandenbroek, and I'd like to call the December 7th, 2020 regular council meeting to order and begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional unceded territory of the Katzie, Kwantlen, Masqui, and Semiahmoo First Nations. So introductions, we have Councilor Rudy Stortaboom, Councilor Rosemary Wallace, Councilor Gail Martin, Councilor Terry James, Councilor Nathan Bahal, Councilor Paul Albrecht. And for staff today, we have Darren Light, who's our Director of Corporate Services, Kelly Kenny, our Corporate Officer, Francis Chung, our Chief Administrative Officer, Carl Johansson, our Director of Development Services, Rick Baumoff, our Director of Engineering, Parks and Environment, and Kim Hilton, our Director of Recreation, Culture, and Community Services. And I believe that is all for today. Okay, so moving on, we have the adoption of the December 7th, 2020 regular agenda, that the December 7th, 2020 agenda be adopted as circulated. Any changes or additions, which I'm sure there are.
I'd like to make an amendment.
And what would that amendment be, Councillor Albrecht?
Okay, I move to amend the agenda so that my statement regarding the appointment of the city's representative to the Metro Vancouver Board be presented and read.
Well, considering you presented the information 3 minutes ago, the statement was disallowed on the agenda due to it not being circulated to council and the rest of staff. You said in your statement that your statement is germane and respectful, so no harm should come to the mayor, council, and staff if allowed. I don't know if anybody has had the chance to read the statement that came out 3 minutes ago.
I can't comment on that, but I put the motion to the floor, and I guess I'm looking for someone to second.
I'll second it.
All right, does anybody have any comments that they haven't read the statement and haven't had enough time? Because this coming forward is not causing harm and is not an immediate threat and can be held over till the next meeting for the statement now that it's been circulated to council. Councillor Stortaboom? According to our policy, our procedure policy, if something is brought forward, it needs to be brought to council, to the corporate officer by noon of Wednesday. If it is to be added on as adoption of the agenda, it should be of urgent nature or pertaining to the late item circulated to council, and 3 minutes before council is not circulation as far as I'm concerned. So I would say if we can move this over to the next meeting.
I'll do a point of order and say that it doesn't see anywhere in our bylaw about a timeline to submit the circulation. I did circulate it. It is of an urgent nature. If your ruling is that it's out of order, then I'll challenge the chair.
That's fine. Councillor Stortaboom, did you have something to say?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say that I haven't read this statement. It, could have been presented over the past 2 weeks for me to review. But even in that, I don't mind if the councillor has something to say. In the interest of transparency and openness, I say let him speak his mind.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah. And that's what I want to give other council members the right to say something if they had concerns about the 3 minute notice. Thank you. All right, we'll call the vote. All those in favor of adding it to the agenda? Those opposed? I'm opposed. Carries anyway. Any other changes or additions to the agenda?
Mayor?
Yep.
I'd like to be able to read that as soon as we adopt the agenda, please.
I will put it under the mayor's report, Councillor Albrecht, if that's all right. You can go up as item D. Is that all right?
No, I just as soon read it and get it done with right away.
Corporate officer, can you please?
I'll
Is that allowable, or is
Forward
it
as
got
a
to be under
motion.
mayor's report or other business?
Madam Mayor, be a motion to amend the order of the agenda to allow that.
Also move that.
Seconder?
I'll second.
Excellent. All those in favor? Opposed?
I don't even know what the motion was.
Okay. All right, so any other changes or additions? Seeing none, I'll call the vote with the 2 amendments. All those in favor? Any opposed? I'm opposed. Carries. Don't see anybody else voting. So adoption of the minutes, regular meeting minutes from November 23rd, 2020. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to do that now or after this?
That right now would be great.
How about her?
Thank you. So due to recent media reports, as well as various news articles, I am compelled to provide the following statement regarding the selection of the city's representative at the Metro Vancouver Board of Directors. We select our Metro representative by a vote of council members in a closed in-camera confidential meeting for a specific term. Mayor Vandenbroek has been our representative for the past 2 years. It needs to be noted that the city has a history of councillors holding this role. Recently, the selection of our Metro representative came up for appointment. I take my responsibilities on council very seriously and will always place the best interests of our community above anything else. Many factors came into my thought process in considering who our next representative on the Metro Vancouver Board of Directors should be. Items such as council members' workload, interest in the position, experience, knowledge, availability, and even the COVID pandemic. Most importantly, trust in our representative to act with integrity and professionalism. In this instance, my belief was that Councilor Martin should be our representative at the Metro Vancouver Board of Directors. The role of the city's representative at the Metro Board is an honor. It is not a right. It is not assigned to a specific job title. It cannot be taken for granted or be a popularity contest. Sometimes when provided good governance, council is required to make decisions that are not easy or popular, but are in the best interest of our community. The democratic process has spoken. It is regrettable that some confidential in-camera information was released, and I expect that council will likely review those circumstances. There also have been some comments made that I need to respond to. Firstly, I have never been asked why I voted as I did about our Metro representative. Secondly, I have not seen or heard any behind the scenes political battling. Like any other municipal council or board, debates on community situations occur. We deal with the issue and move on to the next one. These issues cannot be allowed and do not become personal. They are opportunities to create a better community, and we work together to achieve those outcomes. I want to assure our residents, staff, and other members of council that I will continue to work with everyone to accomplish what is best for the city of Langley. We have a very strong, diverse, talented, and committed council team that I have confidence in and respect. Together, we can accomplish great things for our city in the years to come. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Great. Thank you, Councillor Albrecht, and I'll hold you all accountable to working together. Fantastic statement. Thank you for making that. Okay, moving on. Adoption of the minutes, regular meeting minutes from November 23rd, 2020. Motion that the minutes of the regular meeting held on November 23rd, 2020 be adopted as circulated. Any corrections? Seeing nobody saying anything, any discussion? Need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor James, Councillor Bahal. Any discussion, other discussion? Call the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Mayor's report, upcoming meeting, regular council meeting. Next one is December 14th, 2020, and that will be 3 p.m. remotely. That'll be our last Zoom meeting of 2020. The next following regular council meeting will be January 11th, 2021, tentatively at 3 p.m. remotely. January's meeting is tentative because until it's approved by council when we get through this meeting, we'll be considering it later on the agenda. So we'll know for sure. Next up, we have library happenings with Councilor Martin.
Thank you. I would imagine someone's going to share their screen and put up the slides. Okay, from December the 9th, 2020 to January 13th, 2021, customers can bring in commercially packaged, unexpired, non-perishable items to the library, and Fraser Valley Regional Library will deduct $2 per item from their library fine or fees, up to a maximum of $30 per account. Items collected at the City of Langley Library will be donated to the Sources Langley Food Bank. And the next slide, Heather Redmond's latest novel, A Christmas Carol Murder, is set right when Charles Dickens did his first writing on Christmas. You can join her for a virtual presentation on Dickens' life, her Dickens of Crime series, and of course, Dickens on Christmas. The next slide. You can browse staff curated lists of fantastically frosty holiday favorites for people of all ages to borrow and enjoy this holiday season. Daily checkouts of physical materials continue to increase, with November's circulation 6% higher than we saw in October. There was also an 8.7% increase in daily holds from October to November, which is a strong indicator of continued circulation growth through December and into 2021. Ebook circulation is holding steady, with circulation approximately 55% higher than last year through the same period. Virtual programming, including our ongoing daily story times and baby times, also continues to be popular. There were 8,700 more views than the last 4 weeks, bringing our total virtual programming views since April the 4th to 207,500. And that would be the library report for December, and wish all the library customers and everybody a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any comments or questions for Councilor Sturdivant? Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Councilor Martin, for that excellent report. Always good to hear about the good things that are happening at the library. I was especially taken by the first part in which you identified that commercially packaged foodstuffs were being collected and that they'll be donated to the Sources Langley Food Bank. I was just wondering if it might be available to share some of those with the food bank that's actually in Langley City.
Sorry, yeah, they chose it. I understand Sources is the food bank that is recognized by the food banks of the Lower Mainland, and maybe that's why they chose Sources. It's the
I
staff
appreciate
that make the decision.
Maybe you could have some influence in those decisions around the food bank that we have actually got here in Langley City. I'd appreciate your maybe talking to them about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Councilor Sturdivant. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you, Councilor Martin. Great report as usual. All right, Mr. Baumhoff, Director of Engineering, Parks and Environment, has an engineering update for us today.
All right, thank you very much. And Hirad is also in on the meeting. He will share his screen for the presentation. I've got a video on one of the second last slide, and technical difficulties. I just couldn't do it from my computer at home here. So this is a report for December of 2020. Next slide. This is a shot of the paving work that's being done at 62nd Avenue and 200th Street, the new curb and sidewalk, and the one lane of asphalt has been redone. Next slide. This is a shot of the new slabs that are being poured at the shelters at City Park. So as you can see, it's maybe a little bit hard to see, there's 3 different pads. So there will be 3 different shelters installed. Likely the completion will be done at sometime around February, March. Next slide. These are the new signs that were installed at Innis Corners Plaza, as well as Douglas Park Spirit Square. Those signs match the same kind of signs as McBurney Plaza and Salt Lane. Next slide. This is a shot of the pavement rehab work at Fraser Highway and 201A Avenue. We've been fortunate. We had some good weather that we could get some paving done last week. And with it being, they took it all the way down to the base course. So that that enables, by doing it to the base course, they can do it in colder weather. So that was fortunate. Next slide. This is a shot of the new winter banners in the downtown core area. Next slide. And city crews complete the annual water main flushing each year. This is a shot of how they connect up to the hydrants and open up the valve to make sure that the water is flushed in all of the water mains. We do about a quarter of the city each year. Next slide. This is a new water utility vehicle that we received. And so the crew is every time, it's usually about 5 to probably 8 year turnover of these vehicles. And each time they upgrade and do a little bit extra that they can make their work a little more efficient. So it's a very versatile and useful new truck. Next slide. This is some drainage improvements that have been done at Penzer Park. And as you can see, it's effective already and is diverting water. That water used to kind of sheet flow towards some people's backyards. So this channel has diverted it away from those yards. Next slide. Development continues at a very good pace in the city. It hasn't really slowed down in the last year. So this is a shot of a service disconnect for new development. Next slide. And a few pictures of some of the Christmas lights displayed in the city. This is a couple of shots at McBurney Plaza. Next slide. And this is a shot of the new tree lights at City Park, as well as inside Tim's Community Center. Next slide. And this year, each year we do receive vandalism on our Christmas lights. And we thought this year we'd just try to be a little bit humorous with the signs and with a Christmas theme with a hashtag Stop Vandalism. And, so you'll see them around town, a little bit of, if you can put Christmas music to them. There's some of them are just, they're good for hopefully get people's attention. And we do request the public to be diligent and look and see if there's things that are happening, if people are cutting lines, cutting the electrical cords, just if things are happening, to contact the city so that we can try to deal with that. Next slide. And this is the last slide, and it's a video showing a compilation of all the different Christmas lights in the city. All right, that's my presentation for this month. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Baumhoff. Outstanding staff as usual. Thank you. Councilor
Thank you.
Scarlett.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. And at the risk of repeating myself when we were quickly speaking before we went online, I just want to thank you and your team for the tremendous effort you put in over this past season, not just in the works, but also in the lights. They're very encouraging. I spend a lot of time walking in the downtown core, and I find the lights to be especially uplifting. The tremendous effort your people have put into putting up the lights and adding a little bit of holiday cheer is greatly appreciated. But overall, another excellent engineering report. Thank you very much again to you and the team, and best wishes for the holidays.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Councilor Sturtevant. Councilor Pahal and then Councilor Martin.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And yeah, the lights are fantastic this year, really above and beyond. And I just have to comment, the video you showed sort of reminded me of a 1990s Knowledge Network ident, where it's just that, and you're looking at the comm things for a little bit. So that was a cool throwback to the day.
There you go.
So thanks again, amazing job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councilor Pahal. Councilor Martin.
Yes, thank you. Well, I echo what has already been said. They're absolutely beautiful. The park staff have done a fantastic job. One thing I thought about when I saw the earlier video that was sent to the park staff, could we perhaps consider keeping some of the white lights on during the year, especially during the winter months? Certainly not all of them, but some of them in Innes Plaza, perhaps some of them at City Hall. It just seems to brighten up the whole community. So it might be something that we could perhaps look into, if that's okay with Mr. Chung and Mr. Baumhoff. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we have, in fact, the lights in the oak trees along Innes, those will be permanent lights. So up in the top part of the tree, so those could be turned on at various times, as well as the lights on the south side of City Hall, and the trees there will be permanent as well.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Baumhoff.
You bet.
Excellent. Anybody else? Councilor Albrecht?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. And I was just going to suggest that we all put ourselves on mute and give both Mr. Baumhoff and all of our staff a big round of applause. So if I could encourage everybody.
Great idea. Anybody else? No? Okay, well, thank you very much to you and your staff. And we have another council meeting yet, so I'll wish you guys all a Merry Christmas next time. How does that sound? Okay, moving on to administrative reports. We have an update progress report for the Langley City Nexus of Community ending 2020. And I believe, Mr. Chung, you'd like to speak to this.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to take this opportunity to provide an annual report on the recommendations from the Langley City Vision's recommendation implementation report. The report made 23 recommendations under 5 timelines: short-term, medium-term, long-term, ongoing and as opportunities arise. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, we continue to make great progress on a number of the recommendations in 2020. For the purpose of the presentation, I will only focus on those recommendations that have either been completed or in progress in 2020. In 2020, we have created the Advisory Design Panel. It was established to review design quality and integration of uses of major developments. The ADP memberships, which includes accredited design professional, local residents, and business community representatives, provide comprehensive advice that reflect best practices in architecture and urban design and Langley City local contexts. We're near completion on a number of major initiatives in 2020. The first one is the OCP update. The OCP provides the blueprint for the future with objectives and policies to guide decisions on planning and land use management. The current OCP was drafted in 2005. An update to the OCP is essential to provide the desired policy direction, set the stage for the advent of rapid transits, broaden the zoning toolkits, and regulate design quality. The OCP update should be one of the first tasks to be undertaken to bring the vision elements into policy and to inform and engage the community in implementing the vision. We have now completed the draft documents and will be sharing the report to the public within the next few weeks. Due to COVID-19, we'll be conducting a virtual open house and a survey in the early part of 2021. We're anticipating that City Council will adopt the OCP in the first quarter of 2021. Zoning bylaw is currently being drafted in conjunction with the OCP changes to address the future vision. The zoning bylaw needs to align with the objectives and policy of a new OCP and provide the tools to implement the desired land use changes. As I said earlier, work is underway with updating the zoning bylaw. We're anticipating that City Council will adopt the updated zoning bylaw in the second quarter of 2021. The third one is downtown transit corridor master plans. Those elements are contained in the district policy under the OCP. And again, that will be accompanied with the OCP updates. Lastly is the Neckameco River District Neighborhood Plan. Work is near complete. The scope of the plan includes a land use strategy to guide the redevelopment of a river district along both sides of the Neckameco River corridor between 196th Street and 208th Street. Residential precincts that are supported by parks, greenways, and other public amenities, watercourse and other environmental protection measures, and development permit guidelines and implementation policies. Again, the neighborhood plan is appendix to the OCP. And again, we'll be sharing that information with the public in the next couple of weeks. And the virtual open house and a survey will be part of the OCP process as well. Again, we're anticipating that City Council will adopt the neighborhood plan in the first quarter of 2021 in conjunction with the OCP update. There are other projects, initiatives that we plan on for 2021, such as review of the development cost charges after the OCP has been adopted by council. We'll review the pre-zoning of different sites within the city. And as we continue to hear more news about SkyTrain extension to Langley City, we'll carry out transit hub design. And after the OCP has been updated, we're going to be reviewing our transportation planning, such as a new master transportation plan. And with that, that completes my presentation. I welcome any questions. Council.
Thank you. Anybody got any questions for Mr. Chung? Councilor Stordeboom?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. And thank you, Mr. Chung, for your progress update. I really think it's important for us to remember that you're working very, very hard in the background to pull together that strategy and visioning that we have worked so hard to put together with you. And I want to thank you for that. I was just curious to know what kind of timelines we're looking at moving into this next year. I see that you've identified that there are some nearing completion and that there are some that are in the process of moving forward. Ultimately, of course, we're hoping to see SkyTrain come to our community. And that timeline in particular is of interest, I think, not just to council, but to all of us here in Langley City.
Absolutely. We continue to work really hard behind the scene to implement all the initiatives to support the vision and to demonstrate to the community and the broader senior level of governments that we're ready for those type of changes. We're doing everything that we can. I know Mayor Vandenbroek is working very hard with the Mayor Council at Translink to work with the different mayors to bring the funding in place, put the funding in place to extend the line to Langley City. And, you know, as you heard from the premier during the election, he wants to bring the line to Langley City as soon as possible. And as perhaps as part of the phase, the survey phase to Fleetwood. Hopefully with the new influx of funding from the federal government and having the province support this project, we're eagerly anticipating that this project could be, SkyTrain will be coming to Langley City sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you again for your report. I look forward to seeing the nexus of community strategy move forward. And I appreciate the hard work that is being put into that. I look forward to hearing more in the near future. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? I don't want to miss anyone. I don't see anybody's hands up. So, okay, I think that's good. Thanks for Mr. Chung. So the motion is that the report of the Langley City Nexus of Community Progress report ending 2020 be received for information. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Councilor Albrecht, Councilor Storteboom. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Great job being done by staff. All right, on to new and unfinished business. First one, actually, yeah. 2021 regular council meeting schedule. That the following dates be set as the dates for the regular meetings of council in 2021. Please bear with me. I'm reading out all the dates. January 11th and 25th, 2021. February 8th and 22nd, 2021. March 8th and 22nd, 2021. April 12th and 26th, 2021. May 10th and 31st, 2021. June 14th and 28th, 2021, July 12th and 26th, 2021, September 13th and 27th, 2021, October 4th and 18th, 2021, November 1st and 22nd, 2021, December 6th and 13th, 2021. The regular meetings of council will be held electronically via video conferencing technology at 3 p.m. unless otherwise noted. So, need a mover and a seconder, I guess. Any discussion? Councilor Albrecht, Councilor Storteboom, any discussion on that? Seeing none, call the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Part B, we have correspondence, Bill C-123, the Canada Pharmacare Act, from Peter Julian, MP, New Westminster Burnaby, Jenny Kwan, MP, Vancouver East, Don Davies, MP, Vancouver Kingsway, and the New Democratic Party. Any questions or comments on the correspondence? Seeing none, can I have a mover and a seconder to receive the correspondence? I have Councilor Albrecht. Need a seconder, please. Councilor Storteboom. All those in favor? Any opposed? Beautiful. No new business. Okay, motion that the meeting adjourn. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Councilor Albrecht, Councilor Storteboom. All those in favor? Any opposed? That carries.
Thank you.